So I have just fitted the Michelin Road 6 tyres, hopefully you can see them there, onto the bike. Well-worn Tourance Next on them, on the bike, and there was no feel happening there. Ooh, so if I can get this thing up and get it off the centre stand without dropping it. Whoops, in gear. Right, so that's something you have to think about when you're riding one of these. To get it out of gear, you actually have to turn the ignition on, because this is the shift assist system. So now it goes into neutral. As you saw there, I've also got an extended side stand from Alt Rider, because the angle of the bike was just ridiculously sharp. So this is an extended stand. It's not down to the last, but it does bring the bike to a more moderate stance. I'm under strict instructions to buy some milk on my way through. Better not forget that. Now, climb aboard. Now, let's just tuck in the side stand and start her up. Need to go back a bit further. I've got a nasty slope just on the back of the section to the shed, so I need to be careful. Okay. And out to the gate. Now this is a downhill slope, so what I do there is I just switch the bike off, and you see it goes into P. Then I can release it, let it roll against the gearbox, and so it won't roll down the hill. So I tried the 450 GS with the ERC, or electronic clutch, or whatever it is, and that has no means of parking the bike against the gears. So if you're on a downhill slope like that, that's an immediate problem. So what I can do here is I could, let's see how it works, put it in neutral and let it roll down the slope. Here we go. So I don't have to restart it. Wear and tear on the starter motor, is it? I'm a sad sort of person I am. Put it back into park and let it roll in to shut the gate. Why am I so anal about shutting the gate? Well, we've got sheep and things around the place, and they love to come in, make themselves at home. So try and avoid that if we can. Okay, so park. Let's put it into neutral. Start it up. First gear. Nothing seems to be coming. So off we go. Of course, down the Boreen, I'm not going to be able to hear really whether, or feel whether the tyres are good or not. But I'm just going to shut my visor. There's a little bit of drizzle getting into my face, and now my glasses are a little bit wet, so crack it open a bit just to get some air so they don't mist up. It is an absolute nuisance when you're having to wear spectacles and riding a motorcycle. Now, often I might elect to put in little doggy. So don't want to race him too much. Let the poor little devil out. That's a lovely little dog anyway. Let's see if I can get past him without running him over. He's not used to that. He belongs to the neighbour down the road here. I actually don't know the dog's name. It's a Jack Russell. Great little dog. My wife and I nickname him the dog about town. I don't know if you noticed the downshift there as I slowed down to go into that bend back there, but I didn't do that when the that's our neighbour who owns that dog. And anyway, yeah, I didn't do that downshift. That's automatically done once the bike gets to a very slow speed. I'm not sure exactly what the speed is. And it automatically changes down to second, and if you come to a stop it'll automatically go into first. Of course you can change down to second at any speed if you want to, so I've just changed up into third just using the normal now I'm getting changed down to second myself. It's not so much that I think the bike won't stick to the road going around these bends, it's for visibility. Cars coming the other way, of course. Now, of course, I know that there's a big lump of insect or something on the front of the windscreen. I forgot to remove it, and then when I got on the bike I couldn't be bothered because I'm too lazy. So I apologise for that. So I've got a nice yellow thing sat in front of you there. Okay. Now I think that the helmet cam is too high, probably. So I might have to reduce its angle. See, what happened was I was out on Wednesday evening and I changed the battery in the helmet cam, and then as I was about 10 minutes later the battery door flew open, and in my sort of haste to try and sort of shut the door I moved the camera, and I'd forgotten I'd moved the camera, and now we're at a strange angle, so I'm just going to pull that down a tiny little bit. Well, I think that's okay. Well, I'll find out. Well, I won't know until I get back and have a look at the video, of course. So, I'm nearly at the end of my boreen, as it's called, the little track that goes up to the house. It's approximately 2.7 kilometres. Now, these Road 6s are road tyres, because most of my biking is... Actually, I think I'll go another way. I don't want to go this way. I'm going to turn round. There's nothing coming. Right, yeah, because most of my biking is in fact on road. I do a lot of touring, so that's basically most of my stuff. But occasionally there are gravel roads and that sort of thing, and it seems I've had the Road 6s on previous bikes, and there doesn't seem to be too much problem. And look, I'm not going to go on a major off-road excursion with them. Obviously that would just be silly. And anyway, I'm not sure this GS Adventure is going to be good for me on a major off-road. Might be all right in a bit of gravel, even in a bit of sand, but I don't think it's the bike for me to go on an off-road excursion. Just crack the visor again. But for touring and riding around in general, these Road 6s should be fine. Now, I know that these GS Adventures do go off-road. I don't know if anybody follows a guy called Alan Ryman on YouTube, but he does incredible things with his bikes, and he took one of these out for a test, and it was pretty incredible to watch him on his off-road while he was off-road. Anyway, I'm just checking to see if my handlebar camera is actually looking at me. It's probably better. Okay. So I'm just going to try the bike. One of the problems I had with the Tourance Next when they were so badly worn was that I just didn't have any feel on the front wheel. It was horrible. Now I'm hoping that that will be a lot better. And instantly I can tell the bike is a lot lighter, a lot more responsive at the front. Yeah, much better. I was almost having to sawtooth ramp ends like that on those other tyres. So we've had a bit of drizzle today. We haven't had rain for 3 weeks or more, but it was only a very light drizzle. So, and I think the dry weather is set to continue now, certainly for the first week in August. So I don't know whether it's unprecedented, this dry spell. We had a long dry spell in 1976, and I'm afraid I'm old enough to remember that. Yeah. Well, I'm enjoying it. I have to tell you, I'm enjoying it, but I know that it can lead to all sorts of difficulties, and we've got fires and other problems. And I know in France and Spain the fires are very serious. And I think there's one in Scotland which is very serious as well. So yeah, it's not all roses. I understand that. The other thing is that I've got the DJI Mic Mini and I've set it on another audio setting for noise reduction low, whereas previously I had no noise reduction. So I'm just going to see what the overall balance is with my voice and the noise of the bike. Yes, I'm very happy with the tyres, with the way the bike's performing on them so far. It feels more responsive, feels lighter. Now the Tourance Next, I'm not sure whether they had the original fitment or what the situation was. Now they were well worn. Not dangerously worn, but it did affect their performance and feel. And that's the thing about motorcycle tyres, isn't it? They don't last so long as, let's say, a car tyre. And it's not so much that they wear out to the wear bars, it's when the tyres get to a situation where they just don't feel as good as they used to. There's still grip, but they just don't have that responsiveness. And the trouble is, when you're riding the bike, you don't immediately notice. You have to excuse me, I'm just going to have to scratch my nose. I've got an itch. Oh. When you're riding the bike, of course, all the time, you don't immediately notice the fall off in performance. You just get used to it, don't you? You just come to accept it. Okay, let's go, lads. Yeah, this is better. Now, I'm not sure the Tourance Next are bad tyres. I don't think they are. They're slightly noisier than these Road 6s, Michelin Road 6s. But they're sort of, I don't know, whether they are just road tyres with off-road pretensions, the Tourance Next. Whereas I know that these Road 6s are pure road tyres. Yeah, very happy with them. Whoops. I see they've gravelled the road there. Whoa. So, as they do in some other countries, they resurface the road and then they put a loose gravel dressing on. But unlike other countries where they might put a mist of tar on the top of the loose gravel, on top of the road surface, and then put the gravel on for it to stick to, roll the gravel in, and then collect some of the spare gravel. In Ireland, all they do is they just scatter the gravel on the road and leave the cars to sweep it off into the side. Yeah, not a great system, I don't think. Okay, so I'm just approaching the garage where I will stop for the bottle of milk, and as I've got 94k left on the thing, I think I can probably get home without having to top it up, so I won't bother topping up the tank, I don't think.